Kevin McCrary here in Orlando. A final preview of the Russell Athletic Bowl coming up Monday. Clemson and Oklahoma. Dabo Swinney versus Bob Stoops. A lot of storylines here. Clemson trying to get to a 10th win for the fourth straight year. That's never happened. And also another pelt, another feather in the cap for the Tigers. They could knock off a named program like Oklahoma. They knocked off LSU in Atlanta. They knocked off Ohio State and Miami. Now a chance potentially to knock off Oklahoma in Orlando. The questions for Clemson in this game all on the offensive side of the ball, beginning with Cole Stout at quarterback. We know he has struggled this season, but he's had some extra time to prepare. He has shown in flashes he can make throws, he can manage the offense. He just has to avoid those costly turnovers, and that's really what's cost him of late. The pick six plague has hit Cole Stout from Georgia Tech, even South Carolina, where he darn near threw one near the end of the first half that could have turned the momentum in that one. But he has had some extra time. It's his offense. He hasn't just been thrust in there like he was in some of those other games where he struggled. So the coaching staff's optimistic that he'll be able to get it done. Now, off the field and kind of in the box, so to speak, how will Tony Elliott handle calling the plays for the first time? Chad Morris isn't there calling plays for the first time in 4 years, and now Tony Elliott's going to have to settle into that role. Clemson likes to go fast. I think it'd be foolish not to think there's going to be at least a little bit of a residual slowdown as Tony Elliott gets comfortable calling the plays, signaling in the plays from the box, getting them down to the field, and into Cole Stout in that offense. So I think that'll be an interesting thing to watch. And you've got, of course, Jeff Scott, who's been on the staff, but in a different role now, how that's going to transition. And a brand new coach, Brandon Streeter, who has been at Richmond until a couple of weeks ago, coordinating that offense. All things that you have to keep an eye on from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, Clemson will bring it. You know, they've done it all season long. For 12 games, Clemson's really gotten the job done. Outside of a spell against Georgia where they struggled, I think they had some shaky plays against North Carolina in a game that they won. But by and large, it's Clemson defense has brought it, which is why they're the number one ranked defense in college football. They bring it week in and week out, and I suspect they'll do it again against Oklahoma. Most people are picking Oklahoma to win this game. I think CBSSports.com called it their lock of the bowl season, for whatever that's worth. My pick is Oklahoma as well. I just think those questions that we talked about offensively are going to be a little too much for Clemson to overcome. But I would not be surprised at all if the Tigers found a way to get this thing done, riding their defense, making a few plays, getting a short field, winning that turnover battle, and, making the plays defensively. Clemson can win this game, certainly. So it's not a long shot by any stretch of the imagination. And, hey, Dabo Swinney, with this extra time to prepare, historically has done pretty well for Clemson. So that's going to do it with our preview look of the Russell Athletic Bowl. Citrus Bowl matchup in the Citrus Bowl, not a Citrus Bowl matchup. That's coming up a few days later, the Buffalo Wild Wings Citrus Bowl, both at the same stadium. But the Russell Athletic Bowl, a 5:30 kickoff at the newly refurbished Citrus Bowl Stadium. We'll be there. We'll have plenty of coverage at sportstalksc.com, our Twitter feed at Sports Talk SC, and Facebook Sports Talk Radio Network. And of course the show will have you covered from the Russell Athletic Bowl. Clemson and Oklahoma will get it together. Appreciate you finding us here at sportstalksc.com. Look forward to a lot more great coverage for you from the Russell Athletic Bowl.